Hello and welcome to another standard video here on the official MTG Arena channel. Today I'm participating in the preview event for Edge of Eternities, so we get to preview some of the new cards, and this monowhite Angels deck has quite a few new additions, starting out at 1 mana with an Angel. The Lightstall Inquisitor is a 2/1 with Vigilance, doesn't have flying, which is pretty rare for an Angel, and when it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hands and may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, so it's the opponent's choice, but then each spell cast this way costs 1 additional mana to cast. Each land played this way enters tapped if our opponent decided to exile a land with the ability. So the Inquisitor gives us some cheap disruption and also a cheap Angel to get on the board a little bit faster, because that's sometimes the downfall of the Angel deck, is that most cards cost 2+ mana, so then it can take a while to get on the board, so then we can be weak to opposing aggro decks. Now with the Inquisitor we at least have an extra 1-drop to kick things off. And then we also get to play with Seam Rip, which is very similar to Portable Hole, but now an enchantment instead of an artifact. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until it leaves the battlefield. And then at 2 mana, we've got kind of the similar package as before with Jada, giving our Angels additional +1 counters, can tap for white mana to help cast our Angel spells. And then Youthful Valkyrie also grows as more Angels enter the battlefield, and we can also potentially warp the Starfield Shepherd. So the warp ability lets us play our creatures at a discount. They enter the battlefield. In this case, we get to search our library for a basic Plains card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it and put it into our hand. So this can maybe search up our Lightstall Inquisitor, and then end of turn, the warped card goes into exile, at which point we can still cast the card from exile in a later turn, so then we'll have to pay 5 mana to get the Shepherd, maybe once again finding a Plains or an extra Inquisitor, so it does provide lots of value even if we just warp it. And then at 3 mana we continue with Inspiring Overseer, gaining a life and drawing a card when it enters. Resplendent Angel is a payoff for gaining lots of life, and we can potentially get there by activating it for 6 mana, and then if we've gained 5 or more, which would be the case with a 5-power lifelinker, we get to make a 4/4 Angel token end of turn. Or the easier way to get there is with a Lyra Dawnbringer, which can give all our Angels +1/+1 and a lifelink, so then if we have 1 or 2 Angels in play already, we can easily attack and then make another Angel token end of turn. So Lyra is an awesome curve topper for the deck, but we've skipped over our 4-drops, where Roaming Throne is one of my pet cards, a 4/4 with Ward 2. When it enters we choose a creature type, which will be Angel, and now abilities of our Angels will trigger an additional time, which means the Inquisitor triggers twice. We also get additional +1 counters from Youthful Valkyrie, the Shepherd can find multiple 1-drops or Plains, and then at 3 mana Inspiring Overseer can gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Resplendent Angel can also make multiple Angel tokens, so the list goes on. And then we also have an Aurelia's Vindicator, which we can disguise and then turn face up, giving us another removal effect or a way to maybe get creatures back from the graveyard if the Vindicator eventually leaves the battlefield, so that can also offer some additional utility. And then we also have the full set of Get Lost to deal with problematic creatures or enchantments at instant speed, giving the opponent some map tokens in return. The mana base can also rely on Cavern of Souls, making our Angels uncounterable, so that can be very important against control decks, and occasionally might want to name Golem to make sure Roaming Throne is also uncounterable, because on the stack it's not quite an Angel yet. And then Soulstone Sanctuary gives us a creature land that also has all types, including Angel, so it also benefits from Lyra Dawnbringer's ability, for instance. So yeah, that's our deck. Now let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Okay, we're on the play with a nice hand. Got a 1, 2, 3, 4 curve, starting with a new Lightstall Inquisitor, playing on the new battlefield as well. Turn 1 Inquisitor. If we play it with Roaming Throne on the battlefield, we can trigger it twice. So that also has excellent synergy. So the opponent's land will now enter tapped. And Seam Rip, a nice efficient answer for the Inquisitor. Valkyrie's next. Another tapped land from our opponents. And it looks like a Kona combo deck. Maybe using the new station cards. Also, if you are crafting Resplendent Angel, if you go for the M19 version, you get the sweet animation compared to the Ixalan version, which does not come with such animation. Just something to keep in mind. Alright, a Roaming Throne it is. Hoping there's no sweeper next turn. Get 2 +1 counters now. It's gonna be a World Wagon next. Getting a land, but yeah, opponent's just dead on board. Can attack for 11 as is, or make it 3 more with his Sanctuary. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw with keepable hands. Got our Inquisitor on 1, turn 2 Get Lost, and we can keep curving out. So red-green, make that Junt with Embrace Oblivion, so some sort of sacrifice deck. And there's a Specialist. So giving the opponent 2 map tokens doesn't feel great with a Get Lost, since they'll be able to use those artifacts. So for now, I could Seam Rip and then just exile their token. Or I can go for the Specialist itself and attack for 2. So these lander tokens are kind of like having a rampant growth on the battlefield. It's going to be a weapons manufacturing next. So now artifacts can generate munitions, and those can deal 2 damage to any target, including my creatures. Alright, for now, probably go for Inspiring Overseer over Resplendent. Gives me a better chance of maybe drawing a 4-drop, so we can curve out better. Alright, I've got a Lyra on 5, potentially. Get Lost could also hit the manufacturing itself, of course. Now the Zealot's a powerful new sacrifice outlet, which can sack both creatures and artifacts alike. Could also see Embrace Oblivion deal with the Overseer. Another reason to maybe slow roll the Resplendent Angel. Takes out our 1-drop. Alright, so can go for Inquisitor plus Resplendent. Attack for 2, and then Lyra next turn could be incredibly powerful, giving the team lifelink, making a token with Resplendent Angel. And there is another manufacturing, so they're just missing an artifact now to go off with a Zealot. Alright, let's see if Lyra works out. Possible they have some instant speed removal in hand. That works. Make an Angel token. And now a Chainsaw. That is an artifact. So that's going to trigger the manufacturing. So they can deal 4 damage by sacking the munitions with the Zealots. It's going to be an Embrace Oblivion taking out Lyra. So then they can take out Lyra and the Resplendent Angel. But 4/4 token should still go the distance. But yeah, getting to see this sacrifice deck go off. If the Specialist was still in play, that could also deal 2 damage for each artifact that gets sacrificed. Zealot attacks, can just take it. And then we should be able to cross the finish line next turn. Alright, sweet. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play with a decent hand. Got some cheap interaction if needed, but turn 2 Jada is what it's all about. Facing Descendant of Storms. Okay, for now still go for Jada. And then Shepherd can find our 1-drop. Opponent has their own Seam Rip. So, we've got some interesting options. Probably want to just Seam Rip the Seam Rip, get Jada back, and then I could still warp the Shepherd to get a Plains for next turn. Or I could play an Inquisitor to try and slow the opponent down a bit. Yeah, let's go for Inquisitor. Maybe next turn I Shepherd and get another Inquisitor and play it. Opponent chose Toby, so that'll now cost 4 mana. And the Frigate, of course, also very synergistic with survival creatures, like the Veteran Survivor. Okay, next up I can warp, get a Plains. Still play Valkyrie first as well. Could also just get another Inquisitor, to be fair. So yeah, we'll start with Valkyrie, then I can attack. And then I can warp. And then if I get a Plains, I can just cast the Shepherd next turn. So that seems reasonable. Seam Rip going for Youthful Valkyrie. Get Lost can get it back, and now Sheltered by Ghosts goes for Inquisitor. Alright, so opponent with some good removal. But I can get Lost the Survivor if I'd like, get my Inquisitor back. That seems fine. Or I can go Resplendent Angel, get Lost the Seam Rip. That seems reasonable too. So then we'll attack for 2. Can get Lost, Seam Rip. And then cast Resplendent with the mana from Jada, which will trigger Youthful, and Resplendent is a 5/5 as well. And then I still have a Get Lost to maybe deal with a Veteran Survivor. It's going to be another Descendant. And a Voice of Victory, so now we can only play spells in our own turn. Opponent keeps stationing the Frigate, so now it is a creature. 3/5. And Inspiring Overseer the draw. So we've got a few options. Can cast Shepherd, get a Plains, or another 1-drop. Could just play the Overseer, and then if I tap Jada, I could still keep Get Lost available. So I could also Get Lost the Frigate, attack, and then play Overseer second main. Then we would be hitting for 10 damage in the air. And add another large flyer to the board. Yeah, that seems reasonable to me. Ignore the Survivor. And another Overseer for next turn. Alright, and that'll do it. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. We've got our turn 2 Jada, so I'll keep. although may not survive against a black deck. Inquisitor was a nice pickup. So the sentry could point towards some station synergies where they want a high-powered creature that they can tap. Opponents delaying their own Deep Cavern bats, so we can now maybe keep our Jada. And then I don't really want to trade for the opponent's stuff, because the more angels we have, the better Jada is. So I'll pass it back. Now a Screaming Nemesis. Can potentially prevent our life gain synergies from taking place. So it would be a good target for Get Lost before they can target it with their own burn spell. So then this turn I could go Youthful plus Get Lost. That seems fine, so Jada can attack first. Question is, do we Get Lost main phase, or do we pass with Get Lost available? I think I should just main phase it to be safe. Otherwise an instant speed burn spell targeting a Nemesis could make me regret it. And then Youthful already a 3/5. We've got multiple creatures we can play if they decide to Deep Cavern Bat. For now, a Fear of Missing Out. Discarding another Sentry. And another Strike Master. Alright. For now, I kind of like Resplendent Angel, because if they do play Deep Cavern next turn, we can maybe work up towards 6 mana to activate it. So that gives us a late game option. Although I suppose Jada does not tap for abilities. It's only to cast angel spells. So we'll still have to wait a few more turns to activate Resplendent. But yeah, opponent's facing a lethal in the air. So they may have to jump with a bat. They go exploring. And explore again. And draw Overseer anyways. So we'll play it, see if we can find removal to just win the game. Alright, no removal, but Shepherd's pretty good too here. So I could warp it. Grow Youthful Valkyrie before attacking. Get another Inquisitor. First we want to attack. Bat has to trump one of our 6-powered creatures. They would technically still survive. We play Inquisitor second main. But yeah, opponent's going to be desperately behind. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. This hand's a little too slow, I'm afraid. This one has a similar problem. Too many 5s. But I don't really want to mulligan to 5 either. So maybe I keep and hope to get there. Facing the black-white sacrifice deck. So flying creatures are a reasonable way to apply pressure. But if the sacrifice deck goes off, you pretty much need Graveyard Hate to stop them. And there's Sephiroth as well, a nice card draw engine. Sir Von Dam, one of the new payoffs for sacrificing creatures. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. I think I need to Overseer just to try and hit my line drops. Okay, just hang back. Could try to double block Sephiroth. Opponent playing the new station land. Sephiroth down at least. But now Servondam is only going to get bigger. And Voice of Victory, also a good way to transform Sephiroth. So the Void Altar almost online. And we get to play Roaming Throne. Next turn Lyra. Don't know if that's going to be good enough. But at least we've got a large Valkyrie on defense. And there's a backup Sephiroth, which may be able to transform, plus sacking a 4-powered Servondam lets them destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Goes for Roaming Throne, paying the ward. And then Sephiroth is gonna transform here. 2 creatures already died, and the 2 tokens are gonna die as well. So may as well block the voice. Sephiroth transforms. We fall to 1. So I can still play Lyra. Don't know if that's gonna be enough here. Attack for 6, gain 6. Have a 5/5 lifelink and first strike back on defense. And Void Altar goes digging. So any removal spell kills us. For now, Nesting Bot and another Voice. Don't expect this sacrifice deck to necessarily have a ton of removal. Alright, so we get to untap. Can now play Resplendent Angel, which grows youthful, and then can help us make an Angel token end of turn. And get to connect. So we might be stabilizing by the skin of our teeth. And next turn we can also consider activating Resplendent Angel or Soulstone Sanctuary. Opponent had the Raise the Pass to bring everything back, but they're lacking, I guess a Sacrifice Outlet isn't true, because now Sephiroth attacking can just sacrifice all their creatures, which will trigger Servondam. But at least there's no Blood Artist effects outside of the emblem, of course. So I don't think we're just dead. And we can block Sephiroth with our Angel token. We'll have to wait and see which life total we end up on. They also have some flying blockers. So we're at 11. Yeah, trading seems reasonable. What if I take it? I'm not threatening lethal with our opponent at 26. So may as well. And I don't want to lose the Resplendent Angel, otherwise I could have double blocked to gain even more life. There's probably going to be another Sephiroth in hand by now, since they've drawn so many cards. And they can also sack Servondam to the Void Altar, which will once again let them destroy a no-land permanent. So it's tricky. This turn could activate Resplendent. I'm probably better off playing Youthful Valkyrie and maybe keeping a Sanctuary available. I think that makes sense. And attack. Token's gonna chump. We're back up to 38. And make another Angel token. So we can still activate the Sanctuary to make a 3/3 blocker. Would be a 4/4 with Lyra still in play. But I imagine it's going to get taken out. Opponent can likely raise the past again, bringing back all those creatures. Sephiroth can also immediately transform once again. So we'll see what happens. Servondam goes for Lyra. Nope, goes for Youthful. Maybe they figured we have another Lyra in hand. A Voice of Victory is attacking. No doubt is going to end up coming back from the graveyard. But we can gain a bunch of life in the process. So they have 4 mana for Raise the Past, so what if I just block the tokens and not the voice itself? I guess I should block the ones that stick around. This way voice doesn't come back for free. Yeah, whether they're tapped or not I guess doesn't matter a ton. So maybe I should still block the voice itself. Although these will give them additional death triggers. So maybe there is still an argument for not blocking the voice itself when we know Raise the Past is likely. Sephiroth was gonna transform no matter what. And there's another Raise the Past like we suspected. But no immediate triggers happening. Resplendent also makes another token end of turn since we gained enough life. Well, this is the game that keeps on giving. So now I can activate Resplendent Angel, which I can do at instant speed. And then... does a Soulstone Sanctuary want to attack? Probably not. Opponent drops to 9. But yeah. They probably have seen enough cards to now have something in hand that can let them sacrifice creatures at will, which is where things can get really scary. At the very least they have the Void Altar. Sephiroth sacrifices the entire board. 18 cards remain. So this is Sephiroth number 3. So they have one left in however many cards in hand or in the library. I guess they have 2 Sephiroth emblems, so those are happening twice each time. Lyra finally gets taken out. Opponent back up to 23, make some flying tokens. Still gonna block Sephiroth. But yeah, opponent's back up to 55. They likely have not erased the past, would be the third one. And could see Sephiroth number 4 as well. Yep. Anything else? Sephiroth number 4. Alright, that's the last one. We can play another Lyra, but yeah, there's a Zealot, so now we might just be dead. Opponent can sacrifice their entire board. And with those 2 Sephiroth emblems and the third one coming up, they're gonna have enough random things to sacrifice. Plus now Sir Von Dam could also be sacrificed at instant speed to deal with Lyra, so we're never gonna attack with lifelink. Well, it took 4 Sephiroths and 3 copies of Raise the Past to eventually get there. But to be fair, if they found their Zealot a little bit sooner, we are probably dead a little bit sooner as well. But yeah, we still made a game out of it. Didn't have the most exciting opening hand. So now with 3 Sephiroth emblems, every creature getting sacrificed drains us for 3. And there's enough random stuff here to sacrifice. GG's indeed. "16 cards remain. So yeah, they've definitely seen a few more cards than we have. But yeah, we were all the way down to 1 life a long time ago, so we still made a game out of it. And that'll do it. Alright, so we got to see this monowhite Angel Lifegain deck in action, and yeah, it's a pretty straightforward game plan, but in a lot of matchups it's quite effective. There's not too many flyers out there that can compete with our large angels, so it's mostly control matchups that you need to worry about, being able to wipe your board. Then it can be difficult to re-establish a board presence and still cross the finish line, but against most other creature decks, your Lifegain synergies and large flying angels can usually get the job done. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's gameplay. I want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.